everyone, and welcome back to Crayon Farms. Today's video is going to be in collaboration with two other homesteads, and we're going to be bringing you frugal farming ideas. So I'm going to be covering cattle panels, and when you're done with this video, I want you to head over to their channels. I'm going to link them below. It's going to be Johnson Branch Farm and Just So Homestead. So I'll link them below and then go watch them to get their ideas and tips on this frugal farming collaboration. So if you're new around here, we have two sets of twins, ages 12 and 6, and our oldest set has cerebral palsy. So with that comes a few challenges and things that we have to figure out when we're working on our homestead. We have been homesteading for almost 7 years, and in that time we have gotten a dairy cow, we have sheep, ducks, meat rabbits, and chickens. And we also grow a lot of our own food in our raised beds, and we have some in-ground gardens. We also have an orchard that we have just started putting in, as well as some berry bushes, and we grow all of our own meat. So if you're new here, please hit the subscribe button, give our video a like, and let's get started with our part of the collaboration. We're going to be covering cattle panels. So there's several ways you can use cattle panels. Not only can you use it with gardening, which I'm going to show you some of that, but you can also use it for animal shelters. So here I built a mobile chicken coop for our meat birds out of this cattle panel, and all I ended up doing was cutting it in half to make the two sections. We added a simple door with another piece of cattle panel on the front, gave them a tarp, and this can be moved all over the yard by myself or my husband. Even two of the kids can move it together. So cattle panels for temporary shelters or even for something like this chicken coop is a really great idea. I'll link my video on how we built this below in the description as well. Another reason I really like cattle panels is because they are a very frugal, cheap option. They can be used for so many things. They're so versatile, but they only cost about $20 depending on where you are, your location in the country. You can find cattle panels, and these are 16 foot and then by 50 inches, and they're anywhere from around $20 to $23 depending on where you're located. And they're generally pretty easy to find. Somewhere like a Tractor Supply, farm and home stores have these. Your co-op stores would have them also. So not only can we use them for mobile chicken coops, we can also use them if you need to put an animal up, or if you're trying to separate an animal. You can use them for temporary pens and fencing. So I'm going to show you how we use that option on our homestead also. So here's another temporary but really quick and easy idea for cattle panels, and that's to put up some type of like temporary fencing, whether this is like a catch pen. We have these sheep right now just in this area that we're moving them across. They get moved daily, and so this is a great spot where we can put them and kind of do pasture rotation. It doesn't take many of them at all. Right now we're just using 6 and a couple of T-posts. You have a temporary fence that you can set up and move around to help your animals with pasture rotation. This is just another great idea for cattle panels. They're durable. We've also used this if we needed to separate like a mama and a calf, or we used it when we had goats for a goat, and to separate kids when it's time for weaning. So cattle panels are just so versatile. There's always something on the homestead you're gonna be able to use them for, and for the $20 to $23 range, it's just a really affordable option also. So now I'm going to give you a gardening idea for cattle panels, and I love doing trellising like this. With this arch trellis way, I actually have cucumbers planted at the bottom, so the cucumbers will just come and grow over the top. I also have beans on this too, so I have 2 cucumbers at the bottom on each side, and beans, pole beans, so they will grow up. And then when the fruit hangs down, it makes it so much easier for picking. You have good circulation of air to keep your plants healthy by getting the leaves and the vines up off the ground. So this is another way I love using cattle panels. Again, it just takes simple T-posts, run it across, and we just attach them with zip ties. And then this is a great arch trellis way for cucumbers and beans. We used this last year in the garden, and I loved it because I didn't miss cucumbers, where you can miss them when they're on the vines, on the ground, because they just get crowded. At least with them being up off the ground, you're not going to be missing your fruit. Here I'm standing between 2 cattle panels that we have put up in our garden area, and this cattle panel has a combination of tomatoes on one side and then peppers, some basil, and cucumbers on this side. So again, with the cucumbers, they're going to be able to climb this vertically. So using this for vertical gardening. And then the tomatoes, this will give them excellent support. You can use something like a pantyhose or something to tie and help support the tomato plant to this as it grows, because this is going to give it enough support. If you've ever used tomato cages before, your plants can get 5-6 feet tall and your tomato cages will start to topple over. Last year we had several tomato plants that toppled over with the cages, and that we used them in raised beds with the tomato cages, and they just toppled over. This cattle panel is strong enough to support the weight of the tomato plants. It's great for, at the same time, I can plant on both sides of it, so it's saving me space in my garden. So I can put a tomato on that side, cucumber on this side, so the cucumber will climb, the tomato has support, and then that gives me 16 feet of usable space on both sides to plant. So this is why I love using these in the garden. So I tell you, I use cattle panels a lot in my garden. Here's 2 new areas in our front where we just put up, again, this is tomatoes and peppers and basil. On the other side, again, different tomatoes and squash, cucumbers again. So as you can see, this just doubles my space of being able to plant on both sides. Gives me lots of space for vertical gardening, and I just love using the cattle panels this way. Now I have one more way that we use these cattle panels, and it's for fruit. Let me show you that. So here's another way to use your cattle panels, and this time it's for fruit. So these are our blackberry bushes, and by giving them the support of the cattle panel here, we're then able to take and run those stalks through the cattle panel, helping them to run. It keeps your branches up off the ground, and then it makes it very convenient for picking your blackberries also. The last way that we're using cattle panels here is to do a grape arbor. Now it's going in our newly put in orchard, and so they're not even coming, the grapes are coming this week. So we will be putting up kind of like we did in our raised beds, but we'll be using cattle panels alone in our orchard to make the arched trellis for grapevines to climb. So I just hope you can see how versatile these are, from animal shelters, portable fencing for animals and livestock, to using them for vertical gardening in your garden, and trellises for growing beans or cucumbers or grapes or blackberries even. This is just an excellent, very frugal way to use cattle panels on your homestead. They are pretty cheap. You can go find more expensive options in your local gardening stores, like even at Home Depot. You can buy things and they have fancier and prettier trellises available, but they're going to cost a lot more than this. You just, for the space and for the amount of money, you can't beat using a cattle panel in your garden. Leave a comment below. Let us know, have you ever used cattle panels on your homestead? And if so, what have you used them for? Thanks so much for joining us today at Cram Farms. Don't forget to give this video a like, hit the subscribe button, and if you're new here, thanks for coming. We hope you'll stay for more videos. And don't forget, this is a collaboration, so please check out Johnson Branch Farm and Just So Homestead. Their links are going to be in the comments below. And if you came over from those channels, thanks for joining us at Cram Farms today. See you next time.